The Brook Wingman XB3 featured in today's review is provided courtesy of Brook. I've been using Brook Wingman adapters for a few years to experiment with different controllers across my Xbox and PlayStation consoles. The use of various pads on systems they aren't designed for is novel, but at the same time using a favorite controller across every system is appealing. Unfortunately, back in 2023, Microsoft pushed an update for the Xbox One and Series consoles that blocked the use of unauthorized accessories like the Brook Wingman XB and XB2. But with the release of the Brook Wingman XB3, affected Xbox players can get back to enjoying nearly any controller they wish on their systems. The Wingman XB3 comes in a compact box with the adapter depicted against a cool green background. A notation about its turbo functionality and the number of compatible controllers are shown alongside system compatibility. Both sides of the box show the XB3 logo with 135 plus controllers and compatible systems. The back gives a nice overview of how the adapter works with wired and wireless controllers. Inside the box you'll find the XB3, Brook stickers, and a quick start guide that has a QR code to a full instruction guide. The Brook Wingman XB3 shares the same design as its two predecessors and other Wingman products. It resembles a large USB flash drive with its 2-inch design and build. The Brook logo and name are nicely displayed along the adapter's top. There are two USB connections, one for plugging the adapter into a console and the other for plugging a controller into it. For the controller port side, the housing is raised slightly to accommodate, giving the adapter a more unique appearance. Along each side of the XB3 is a single clear button that glows blue or red while the adapter is plugged in, depending on the adapter's status. The XB3 is solid to the touch, but due to its length it does have some slight sagging while in use with wired controllers or USB receivers. Using the XB3 on Xbox One or Series consoles is very easy. Simply plug it into your system and then attach either a wired controller or a wireless receiver to its USB port, and after a second or two the controller should be controlling your Xbox system. By holding the side buttons on the XB3 you can also pair any number of Bluetooth capable controllers to achieve the same results. I say it should work because even with more than 135 compatible controllers, there might be an outlier that doesn't work. Everything I have put up against it during my review period, from 8BitDo, RetroBit, Retro Fighters, Nintendo, and Sony, has worked without issue. After playing several games from shooters to platformers, I have been very pleased by the experience the XB3 has offered. Wired controllers have no noticeable latency, and a variety of 2.4 GHz receivers have felt the same as using them in standalone connections. Bluetooth has likewise been as lag-free as using a standard Xbox wireless controller, resulting in like-for-like gameplay to my senses. The adapter passes through stick and trigger ranges, so they won't always line up with the expected Xbox values, but this has yet to cause any issues during my playtime. Rumble is also passed through without issue. For anyone wondering, the XB3 does work in both retail and dev mode environments. The XB3 offers additional functionality for attached controllers with remapping and turbo abilities. Using button combinations on a connected controller, you can easily map any button to have turbo fire with 5 levels of speed. It works well, and I have grown more fond of turbo features as I get older and have more issues with rapid inputs after prolonged sessions. Remapping is also easy enough to do, but I must admit I find the functionality on the adapter a bit redundant since the Xbox has system-wide remapping capabilities already in place that work with the controller attached to the XB3. It is worth noting that you can use the XB3 to map multiple buttons to a single press though. With the XB3 being compatible with PC, I like to use it as an easy way to connect more obnoxious controllers to use seamlessly in my games. Switch Pro controllers or the DualShock 3 are easy examples to point to. You could use things like Steam controller input to do a similar thing, but the feature has always given me trouble and I pretty much despise it at this point. With the XB3, I just plug it in, and it all works as an X-input device without issue and no additional drivers are needed. Latency in use on a PC has mirrored that of Xbox, remaining unnoticeable. Updating the XB3 firmware through a PC is also a straightforward process, and I appreciate that Brook offers a version for tournament runners that removes turbo and remap functionality. While the XB3 brings back compatibility to modern Xbox consoles, it has one major drawback from its predecessors in losing compatibility with the original Xbox and Xbox 360. I often use the XB1 and 2 on these systems with modern Xbox controllers for a consolidated experience. I am not sure if this is something that could be added back in with the firmware update, but losing two compatible systems is a disappointing blow, especially when taking into account that Microsoft's accessory ban wasn't a universal thing. Both my Wingman XB1 and XB2 with their latest firmware still function on my Xbox Series S on the newest system update and allow for use on the older Xbox systems, making them far more useful to me overall. If you have these adapters still in hand, update them and double check if they still work for you before diving into an XB3 purchase, as it might not be necessary. I have also had issues with random cutouts while using my DualShock 3 in wired mode, which would require a quick replug to fix. This doesn't happen when using the DualShock 3 in wireless mode. The Brook Wingman XB3 is another solid addition to the excellent Wingman lineup. It ensures compatibility with Xbox One and Series consoles and PC, but comes at the expense of past Xbox systems. Controller compatibility and performance are top-notch, and added turbo functionality and remapping are an excellent bonus. If you would like to consolidate your controller usage across multiple platforms, the Brook Wingman 3 is an excellent choice for doing so. So those are my quick thoughts on the latest Brook Wingman XB3. Again, a great adapter if you are only looking for functionality on Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, or PC. Unfortunately, it did cut support for the original Xbox and 360. So while this may be the latest and greatest, if you happen to have an XB2 still on hand, just double check to make sure it still works on your Xbox. I know Brook does not officially support these on Xbox Series X and S anymore because of Microsoft's update, but it still works for me. I've seen forum posts of a number of other people that it still works for. So if you do need that multi-system functionality and you already have one, just give it a shot. Otherwise, if you know you're only going to be using it on Series X and S again, newest one will treat you very well. It behaves beautifully. But thank you so much again to Brook for sending it out my way to test out. It's been fun comparing it to its predecessors, and I am glad that it's working as well as ever. But thank you all for watching today's review. Here at the end, just the usual favors to ask. Thumbs up, thumbs down, depending how much you like it. Sub button, notification bell so you can see when new videos go live on the channel. And if you'd like to further help support the place to keep it going and bring more content just like this to all of you, just check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, as every little bit helps keep us going. Big thank you to all of our current backers. Just couldn't do it without you. Just super grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you again for supporting us. But until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, keep on gaming, and we'll see you back next video.